Today's coverage is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. By AutoPartsForLess.com. Why pay more when you can get it for less? And by Geico Motorcycle, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance.
Thanks for sticking with us. It's MotoAmerica, the opening race weekend of the 2022 season. We are at the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway, and the action is about to continue. It is the Twins Cup, race number 2, a race that was won yesterday by young Blake Davis. He's a little... I was going to say I thought this was a recap then, but I forgot we're a little bit condensed. This is the warm-up lap, I believe, as the riders get going. And it's going to be the same grid.
This is race highlights.
It is race highlights. See, I'm still on cloud 9 after that Daytona.
The sun's not out.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. This is what happened yesterday then as the race got underway. 6-7 rider slipstream as we headed down in towards the end of the opening lap. And then this huge monster ricochet off the wall. Ride the wall for Anthony Mazziato. Heart-stopping moment. Hayden Schultz, who had just got clipped by Mazziato, then made a mistake of his own, collecting a couple of riders, and the race went all the way to the flag. Another photo finish, as you said, Roger. Every single race decided at the stripe.
Yeah, every race. You can see Blake Davis there with the good run last lap. Tommaso makes a mistake here in turn 3, runs off the track, but he recovers pretty quick. And then through the chicane here, you can see Blake leading out of there with the Aprilias behind him, and just kept playing his cards right, kept getting a good run. And I think everybody behind him thought they was in the right spot, but he played it good.
Yeah, unfortunately, not in the right spot on the last lap was Benjamin Gluddy. Tommaso Marcon, the Italian Aprilia test rider, getting it wrong in the chicane and wiping out his teammate. But no mistakes for Blake Davis. Not just his first podium, his first ever professional win as a road racer. And he's still just a teenager. What a bright future this young lad has got.
Yeah, for him to win not only his first race, but here at Daytona, I mean, that's just huge.
Here's a look at the results then. Teague Hobbs finishing in 2nd place, Anthony Mazziato in 3rd position. And again, apologies. I do know the difference between 79 and 70, but the numbers, they look so much the same, don't they? With I couldn't see properly, but Jackson Blackman on the 2nd of the Yamahas in 4th position. We've just been talking in the Daytona 200 about the battle between the manufacturers. 2 Aprilias, 2 Yamahas in the top 4. This also is a fight between the manufacturers, Italy versus Japan.
Yeah, and both manufacturers really sponsor a lot of riders in this class and making a push. And it's going to be interesting to see. Yesterday, all the bikes looked pretty even, so it's going to come down to the strategy.
Benjamin Gluddy, 1:59.0, that went a little bit faster than that in race conditions. He will start, though, however, from pole position alongside Marcon and Jody Barry. 2nd row of the grid, headed by the defending champion, Caleb de Courel, who finished a lowly 14th yesterday after his own run of troubles. Teague Hobbs will start 7th. He finished 2nd yesterday. A little bit further back, Ethan Cook heads row 5. Keep your eyes out on Gus Rodeo and Dominic Doyle, who was returning to the championship, riding for the Bartcon Racing team. And they will be joined by Belgian rider Levi Baddy in the Junior Cup this year, an expanded team for Bartcon. And as I said, starting a little bit down on the grid, but he will be one to watch. Finishing 6th from row 6, Dominic Doyle knows how to race a Twins Cup machine. He's been on the podium in the past.
And we've seen other guys this week not start at the back of the grid and work their way toward the front. So definitely, if he can get a good start, put the first couple laps, be aggressive, make some moves, he could find his way toward the front.
Yeah, the starting grid still on the screens for you at home. A massive grid here, this, isn't it? Liam McDonald in 31st, Rodney Vest, Ray Hoffman down in 35th position. A full grid as we get a green flag and a very quick restart here. Then this is race number 2. It is a 6-lap sprint race. 2 Aprilias, in fact 3 Aprilias on the front row of the grid. Keep your eyes out for Jody Barry, number 11. The number 49 of Hayden Schultz will want a better start. Watch for the lights away we go. Oh, and another terrible start for Hayden Schultz. Just dropped the clutch a little bit too much. And I guess, Roger, at that moment, your heart just sinks.
Yeah, just the quickest thing you can do is try to recover as fast as possible. He fell down to about 6th or 7th, but Caleb DeCarroll got a great start. He's worked his way up into 2nd already. Yeah,
Caleb DeCarroll up into 2nd place, the defending champion. He was running strongly yesterday, 14th position. Really doesn't sort of say where he should have finished, does it? His true place, it doesn't underline where he should have finished.
No, not. He was up there the whole time. And another mistake by Hayden Schultz. I'm not sure, just some race nerves or what, but he's made another mistake there out of turn 3, and luckily he saved it. But you can see this top 4 or 5 guys are already trying to make a break.
Yeah, we did see a 10 or 11 rider group at the head of the field yesterday. It promises to be a great race. If you've not seen Twins Cup racing before, you're in for a treat, as it is, I believe, you call that. Is that 70 or 79? It's one of the Roban bikes in the lead, that's for sure. It's either Glody or Marcon. And Marcon was very apologetic yesterday after getting it wrong at the chicane as they come out onto the banking for the first time. The two Veloce Aprilia sandwich between the two Roban Aprilias. Nothing between them there, Roger. No differential support by the Italian factory to either team. And again, Jody Barry is getting a great slingshot. One of the riders is out already of this race. But it's an Aprilia quartet at the front, a couple of Yamahas in the mix. There is Blake Davis as they go into the chicane towards the end of this opening lap. Pick a win. Oh, and Blake Davis goes down. The championship leader goes down. And down goes Dominic Doyle as well. There are 2 or 3 riders now on the floor. Dominic Doyle, barrel rolls down. And a 4th rider. I think, yeah, there's definitely something down on the floor there.
You need to red flag this pretty quick.
We are definitely going to get a red flag. I am sure of that. There's riders everywhere there. Thankfully, everybody up on their feet. And Blake Davis, the championship leader, has gone down.
Yeah, they've definitely red flagged it. Hopefully for Blake Davis, he can get his bike back up and try to get back to the pits and get it repaired to get back in the race.
Yeah, we didn't see anything. I wonder whether maybe one of the machines just ahead was dropping some fluid. We didn't see anything, so I don't want to speculate. But Davis went down, and there you can see the youngster on the left-hand side just pushing the machine. Everybody up on 2 wheels, which is good. But, Roger, for that many riders to go down in the same spot, there has to be something on the floor.
There has to be something. I don't know, maybe on the warm-up lap somebody leaked something down. But, that's just the highs and lows of racing. One day you're on top of the world, you're winning at Daytona. Next day, you on the deck in the chicane on the first lap.
On the first lap, yeah. This was already a shortened race, and 25 points on the board, 25 for the win for Blake Davis. It will be interesting to see whether he is able to get back out there. We're going to have a look at this, ladies and gents. A replay here. Blake Davis is the first rider to go down. Roger, let's just have a look. He goes into here. He was in 3rd position.
He's in 3rd right here. You see, as he goes through the chicane, he goes right, left. And right out of here, you can see
it's his bike. End. It's his bike that's dropping something. I'm sure there's something coming out of the bottom of his bike. Yeah, I'm sure there is something coming from the bottom of Blake Davis's bike, and that caught Dominic Doyle. I didn't see the other rider that went down. I don't know whether we can get a 3rd replay, or rather a 2nd replay of this. And yeah, there's definitely something.
And when the fluid's on the track like that for these guys, there's nothing they can do. It's just like hitting ice. They go through there, they can't see it, and hit it, and the next thing they go down. You can see Blake's definitely trying to get his bike back to the pits. He wants to get back in this race and see if he can get some points.
Yeah, and you can see there a couple of people in cars getting out of his way. Blake Davis wants to get back out there. Every bike is out of the way. Riders are all up, but 100% there was something on the floor. I just seen it looked like a little bit of blue smoke as they came through the right-hander of the chicane, and then Blake Davis lost the rear end. I could be speculating, but that's what it looked like. The riders now coming through here very, very slowly. The marshals doing a great job. And, well, that's taken out maybe 5 or 6 riders, Roger, which is not what we want to see, not at all.
No, especially when it's not your fault like that. It's out of your control. Those are the worst ones, but luckily they got up and everybody's okay.
Right, we're going to get another look at this, Roger. We're going to just look at Blake Davis, the 3rd rider in the picture. Now, there's nothing coming from the back now. Just look to when he goes to the right, slow it down, and I think there.
Yeah, you can see
there's
some fluid
definitely something,
out.
Isn't there? Yeah, it's Blake Davis. A technical problem then for Blake Davis, and unfortunately the youngster doesn't have a chance. In that situation, no chance at all. Keep looking a little bit further back, because here is that 229. It's Darren James. Yeah, look, he hits the fluid. He's going to lose the front. Down he goes, and Dominic Doyle also hits the fluid. Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance.
You're just along for the ride, once you hit that fluid, especially when you're leaned over like that. You can see the other riders. They can't see it. They have no idea. They're just going through the chicane. They hit it just like hitting an ice patch. You're down.
Yeah, so the marshals will get there and get that cleaned up. We will get a restart. It was already a sprint race. We haven't heard whether the laps will remain as 6 or whether we reduce to 5. My guess would be maybe it will be reduced to 5 laps. But again, we're just waiting for official confirmation. Also, I didn't see whether or not Corey Ventura made it out there. We haven't talked much about young Corey, whether he did.
Corey Ventura retired with fluid in the belly pan.
Oh, so Corey was out as well. Okay. So Corey Ventura, who failed to finish yesterday, leaves the opening round of the Twins Cup Championship with 0 points. But the championship is long, isn't it? When we talk about this, it's not like a complete disaster. This is only round number 1 of 10. So there are many, many more races to go, many, many more points. And I'm sure that all of these riders will be back out fighting when we get to the next round of the Twins Cup, which, of course, will be at Road Atlanta. And
not only that, just being such a competitive class, you know, you can make up a lot of points really quick on a, you know, any race, because a guy could win one day, get 6th or 7th the next, because there's literally 10 to 12 guys in this class that could win on any given weekend.
Yeah, you see there the various marshals now checking different points of the circuit. And of course, what they'll do is, as you can see there, they were checking before the right-hander as well, because maybe that fluid had started dropping before, so they're not leaving anything to chance. They're checking what it was. Was it just water? Was it some kind of oil or something? Just to be sure what to do, what to treat the circuit with. And we will get this race restarted. Anthony Mazziato in that race up until the red flag hadn't had the best of starts. He was down, I think, in about 9th or 10th position on that opening lap. So not the start that he would have wanted. Hayden Schultz, as we said, drops the clutch yesterday, goes skywards, drops the clutch again, and the Yamaha points to the sky. Third bite of the cherry for Hayden. He, too, on the floor yesterday, looking to get some points on the board today. And there is Dominic Doyle. Dominic Doyle on the left-hand side, and he's saying, yeah, I just turned right. There was nothing I could do. But Dominic's got back to the pits. There is Colin Barton on the left-hand side from the Barkhorn Racing team. And a little bit of time to get the machines back together. There is Anthony Mazziato. Gus Rodeo pointing down. I wonder whether he was maybe a rider involved. We didn't see that. Some body work there. And oh, look at the end cam there as well on one of the bikes. That will affect performance. What goes through your mind now, Roger? Obviously, you've gone down. You see the mechanics working. Obviously, the bike will be checked before it goes back out. But, you know, you don't know what's under you anymore, do you? You know, you're not got no chance to test it anymore. No, that's where having faith in your team and having a good team really comes into play, because you're going to, you want them to be sure that they get you out there safe as possible. And, you know, when you're under a red flag like this and the guys are working really fast, it does make you a little bit nervous, because they're working pretty quick. But as long as you have a good team and, you know, you're just kind of glad to be able to get another chance at it, get back in the race. Yeah, Anthony Mazziato takes off the helmet, the long hair of Anthony Mazziato, the 516. He's a barber, I believe. Somebody said he was a barber. Obviously, sadly for Anthony, I won't be a customer, but he was certainly giving out haircuts at I think it was New Jersey last year. Not a bad little sideline. If you get a bit of a delay, get the old clippers out, make what $3 or $4 a pop, and away you go. I'm not sure if Gus went down as well. You see his leathers are all scratched up on the right side. Yeah, that's what I mean. I saw him come onto the camera and put the thumbs down. Maybe he was caught out as well with that. I think that is absolutely. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was caught out in that as well. So some work now for the Warhorse team. His teammate, of course, Anthony Mazziato. And for young Gus, he'll learn a lot from Anthony, moving up from the Junior Cup into the Twins. That's going to help him a lot. You know, not only have we seen him following him the first day of practice, so that's going to help a lot. And then also he can kind of give him some pointers, or, hey, I'm struggling here. What are you doing on bike setup and stuff like that? And that's where having a teammate can come in and be a benefit, especially for a younger guy. You know, Anthony's got a little more experience than he does, and he can go and ask questions and you know, see how Anthony does it. And sometimes, usually it'll help, but, you know, sometimes it's not always. Sometimes you have to learn on your own, but when you have a teammate that's got some experience, it really does help to speed up that process. And I think that's another reason why you see a lot of guys have coaches these days, because when you're a young rider, it just speeds up that. It's not just the riding. There's so much more that goes into it. Right, well, Blake Davis, the championship leader, has got the N2 Bobble Moto machine back now into the pit lane. And you can see some frantic work going on there. They're having to change the guard on the throttle side. Yep. Yeah, that's snapped clean off, isn't it? So that needs to be replaced. A little bit of marking on the side. They're not going to bother with the stickers. That's just cosmetic. Don't worry about that. But let's fix the things that we need to allow Blake to get back out into the race. And this is great to see that we can get in as close as this. A couple of little clips there coming out as they change the guard. The brake lever, to be fair, doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look bad at all. A little bit of scuff. The brake guard
did its job.
Yeah, absolutely did its job.
See, this is what I'm talking about as a rider when it makes you a little bit nervous. You see how fast all these guys and girls are working, and then you're kind of watching it. But for him, he has a great crew. He has a big team under him. Into Bobblehead Motors is helping him out, works on his stuff too. So for him, that has to give you some confidence whenever they are working this quick, that you do have a lot of good people under you.
Yeah, if in doubt, give it a clout. That's just give it a good old thump, and you can see that obviously inside that is now bent, isn't it? The threads will be bent. They're going to have to pull this out and wiggle it out. And you can see the force he's having to use to put that in. As you said, it's there for a reason. It did its job. It did its job, and also you have to have it. You can't just take it off. Part of the rules in MotoAmerica, you have to have that front brake guard. And that's just for safety. So we see all these guys drafting. If somebody scoots over a little bit on you, and instead of hitting your front brake and putting you down, that guard's going to protect it. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely indeed. So a lot of frantic work going on in the pit lane. Just going to stand up from the commentary box. A lot of these riders are in front of us. I can see the 700 of Ed Sullivan's machine down there. We are being told that the pit lane will open in 5 minutes' time. 5 minutes' time. So if there was not a lot of pressure on these guys already, Roger, 5 minutes ticking down, you're going to have to be done in at least sort of 4 minutes 30 just to make sure that the last tech checks from the guys down there are working. If Gus Rodeo did go down, they're putting the tyre warmers on, so I think maybe his bike doesn't look like it even has a scratch on it, so maybe he did go down easy, but regardless, he's going to get back in the race, so that's all that matters. And we are being told it will be a restart over 5 laps with the grid positions as they gridded up in the first place. So let's have a little look at what is going on for the rest of the season. As I said, after this event, April 8 to 10, we go to the Circuit of the Americas. We will have, of course, only the superbikes racing there. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, as then we head to Virginia in May. June the 3rd to the 5th, Road America, the Ridge WeatherTech Raceway, one of my favourites. Roger, what about yourself? Some great circuits that we're going to. Which one are you looking forward to the most? A lot of great ones. Road America, Laguna Seca, Barber Motorsports is another one I love. Pittsburgh. All the tracks that we go to are, actually all pretty good, fun tracks. No, they certainly are. I will be absent from Road Atlanta and Virginia, but looking forward to go back to Road America, where I did the two-seater with Chris Ulrich in 2019. Looking really forward to going back to Elkhart Lake. Have you ever done the twos up? I know you used to do the Ducati lap, but have you ever done that? I gave a two-seater ride one time when I was doing a champ riding school, and I almost fell over as soon as the guy got on the bike. There is Blake Davis, and a little comfort break, I think, needed there for Blake. But good to see he's okay, isn't he? Absolutely no damage whatsoever for young Blake. No. And, Roger, we're just being told they are not letting Blake Davis back out. Blake Davis walks away. They're saying no, he is not allowed to ride. He doesn't want to talk to the TV. Oh, look at his face. He is absolutely distraught. A win yesterday, the leader of the championship. And breaking news here is that Blake Davis has been told he will not be allowed to restart. And I guess, Roger, maybe because there's no way of checking if that fluid was, is that damage there? I know you can replace the guards and stuff and the brake levers, but if it was his bike that dropped fluid, there's no way they're going to let him back out. I'm not sure, and I understand why he's upset. You would want, if your crew got to fix your bike, you would definitely want to be able to get out there and at least try to get some points. Yeah, you've got to feel for the kid. You really do have to feel for the kid. But Blake Davis, you can hold your head up high, sunshine. You had a great day yesterday, and I'm sure when the championship resumes in Road Atlanta, you will be back at the sharp end. What he's got to do now is not let this affect him. No, he should be leaving here beaming with confidence. Not only was he fast in the race, he's been fast in practice and qualifying, and had a good first race. You can see him pushing his bike back now, so going to miss out, but he'll be ready for the next one. Yeah, he's for a young kid, he's got a good head on his shoulders, a kid that takes it serious and really wants to have a successful career, and he has the people around him to give him that. So he's definitely going to be disappointed, but he should be leaving here, feeling pretty good, and I think this is going to motivate him. You could tell he did not look happy. And we are being told, okay, so I can actually, as we've been told, great work from the guys on the ground, Roger. So I'm being told it was Corey Ventura's bike that leaked the fluid. The reason that Blake Davis is not allowed to restart is that he returned to the paddock area through the service roads.
Behind pit wall.
Behind pit wall. He did not use the circuit to return. So the rule is you have to return using the circuit. It's the same rule in the World Championship. And unfortunately for Blake Davis, we did see him taking the service road. And that is the reason. I remember a race actually in Portimao a couple of years ago that happened.
When I seen him go behind there, I was kind of a little bit curious about that, if that was going to be okay. But for him, young kid, 15 years old, makes a mistake. It's better now to learn the hard way than later out in his career, and you can guarantee he won't ever make that mistake again. Which
probably now understandably is why he was a little bit more frustrated, because he would have known it wasn't his bike that dropped the fluid. You know yourself when you go down. So.
And as a rider, you don't ever want to let your team down. You feel like you made a mistake and went behind the service road and you let your team down. And for him, he respects his team and wants to do good for them, and also so he just feels like he let them down, I'm sure.
Well, as I said, you are watching MotoAmerica Live, plus Roger Hayden to my right-hand side, Michael Hill. This is why we are in a red flag situation. Blake Davis, the number 22, the championship leader, goes down on fluid. That was dropped by the bike of Corey Ventura, and then it was just a domino effect, Roger.
Yeah, you can just see all the guys just piling up behind them. I mean, we had 6 or 7 guys at least go down. Just as soon as they go through the chicane, it's so fast, the left and that right. They can't see it, and you can just see in your picture there toward the middle, people just, as soon as they hit it, they're down.
Thankfully, though, we can report all riders okay. We haven't seen whether or not Dominic Doyle will return to the grid. We will be able to see in a second as we have a little look. And there is Dominic Doyle. So it looks as though Dominic and the Barkon Racing team are going to get back out, as is Gus Rodeo, as is Anthony Mazziato. So good work by Colin and the guys at Barkon Racing, as everybody now moves down to the end of the pit lane. Number 16 on the left-hand side, Trevor Standish. 37 is Liam McDonald. 79 is Teague Hobbs, who was on the podium. 5-lap race. It was already a sprint, Roger, and we've seen around here as well, very difficult to make a break. This could be one, even with the absence of Blake Davis and a couple of other riders, this could be any one of 12.
It could be even more than that, I think. With this draft, only 5 laps, you know everybody's going to be going for it right away. It's going to go by quick. I mean, you can't take a chance of during this race. You see some guys sometime at Daytona kind of shuffle their way back and then come back to the front. 5 laps, you really don't have time to get shuffled back too far in a big pack and then try to make your way toward the front. Yeah, absolutely. A stacked grid here, as I said, for the whole championship. We have more than 45 full-time entries. This is a great class, isn't it? I know when I first came over here, the championship the first year, you kind of had a mix of kind of... how can I put this politically correct, but older guys that were maybe finishing their careers, were using the Twins Cup. And now you see it as a stepping stone. It's really evolved as a championship, and it provides really great racing. Yeah, but it's a good transition from Junior Cup to Super Sport. You know, has a little bit, it's kind of in between the two. It's a little heavier, has a little more power, and these guys are headed out on their exciting lap now. And the thing for them, which is going to be really curious for these guys, this is going to be their chance to look at the chicane and see, you know, if they're still fluid down, and come back, stop at pit lane. A crew will be waiting for them, and then they'll get one more warm-up lap, and we'll get started.
Yeah, this is a quick restart procedure. If you're not familiar with motorcycle racing, the riders would usually go out onto the circuit. They'd do a sighting lap, as they are now. They'd then line up on the grid, and there'd be a 10 or 15 minute wait. There'd be various interviews, etc. on the grid. That's already happened in part 1, and what we do just to compress things and make the schedule run is they get a quick restart. They'll come back to the grid, and then within 30 seconds, the grid will be cleared, and we get the warm-up lap.
Also, one thing to watch with the sun going down the way it is, with shadows and stuff like that, you're going to be able to see when the guys beside you, and also you're going to be able to, the sun's going to be in your eye in some places on the track, so it's another thing these guys are going to have to look for.
Yeah, I remember a couple of riders in Qatar when they race under the floodlights, and they say you see the shadows, and it's sometimes your own shadow, but you think someone's alongside you. You know,
yeah,
it kind of gives you that.
On the banking, you see all these guys, they get their shadow right beside them, and you can't tell, is it me or is it somebody else?
Now we're coming into the point where we saw riders go down, and everyone just taking it a little bit gingerly there. So far, so good. There's Dominic Doyle going through the point where he just went down a couple of minutes ago, so he'll breathe a huge sigh of relief. And once again, you've got to say, great work by the marshals here at Daytona all weekend long. Difficult conditions for them in the weather, but when we have had a wreck, when we've had people going down, they've done a really great job to get the track back into racing conditions.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, they had to be in a hurry to get things done. And, you know, not only get it done, but you have to get it done safely and quick, and they did a great job.
Number 72, Benjamin Gloddy, will start from pole position. He, another rider with 0 points on the board. And with a couple of riders at the sharp end yesterday now going down. One thing it's going to do, Roger, we're probably going to have maybe 2 or 3 points covering 10 riders in the championship.
Somebody, Anthony Mazziato is a guy that could come out of here, and, you know, Jackson Blackman, some guys that finished yesterday, they could, Teague Hobbs, they could come out here with a nice little cushion to get the season started.
Yeah, as you can see, riders coming down then. Look at this. It is just one single solitary mechanic or team member on the grid. Number 70, Tommaso Marcon, the Italian. He's got his helper there on the right-hand side. Great hairstyle by his helper, I've got to say. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, our TV producer just saying, am I related to him? Not quite, but... sorry, producers. I mean, apparently it's our TV director. Well, you're all mean to me. You're all. You know what we should do? One of these races, actually, just turn on some of the comments that we get. There is Jody Barry just having a chat, and now they have to clear the grid. Jackson Blackman, 4th place yesterday, already a race winner, isn't he? Last year a couple of times. In fact, he was the first winner on the R7.
He was, and was right in the championship hunt last year. Till the last couple of races. I think a mistake at Brainerd really set him back. Yeah,
it did. He was certainly mounting a championship challenge, was the number 18. Always rides a turned out bike, a really nice livery bike, doesn't he, Jackson Blackman? And away they go then on the warm-up lap. I was going to say, if that was the start, Jackson Blackman got a flyer as they head down into turn 1. We haven't been notified of anybody absent other than Blake Davis. I would assume 1 or 2 of the other guys would be absent because their bike were sort of at the side there. 14-mile-an-hour winds, and thankfully the winds in the last couple of hours have actually been on our side. That's kept the clouds high, and it's enabled us to get the Daytona 200 underway. And if you are just joining us, if you haven't seen the Daytona 200 here this weekend, you can watch all of the coverage on MotoAmerica Live Plus. In fact, all of the sessions are on there to watch back, and it really is great. I've got a few people messaging saying, oh, we've never watched Live Plus before, we're getting so much action. We don't just do Live Plus here, do we, Rog? We do it at every single race, on track, off track, behind the scenes. We're talking to riders, crew chiefs, sponsors, fans. It is a great platform to get really involved and immersed with MotoAmerica.
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff. You get to watch practice, you get to watch qualifying, and you get the mic on the mic where you get to interview riders and see their personality. So there's a lot of stuff that you get to see. We go and look up close at bikes and teams and how they operate with interviews and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that you can see.
Yeah, it's really good, and a lot of technical features as well. I know for me, I love some of the tech stuff that some of my colleagues bring to MotoAmerica Live Plus. Not being technical myself, it is great to understand a little bit about these motorcycles. That's where the trouble happened, and of course they're now going through on the warm-up lap a little bit quicker. Next time through, Roger, it is going to be 100% full gas, but I think we don't have a problem now, surely. I mean, if there was going to be an issue, we would have seen it already. Yeah,
we've already seen it, and plus, when MotoAmerica, when they clean up an accident like that, they usually hit it the first time and don't ever have to go back through it again, as long as somebody else doesn't leak any fluid. But for all these riders now, they all kind of have that sense of a little bit of relief, because you never know, if they got it all, and looks like it's all cleaned up and the track looks good.
Darren James, the 229, is also a non-starter. So Blake Davis on the 22, Corey Ventura on the 28, and Darren James on the 229 will not take part in this restart, which is going to go over 5 laps of this amazing complex here. I've seen it, as I said, for many, many years on TV. Actually, being here in person, it is absolutely brilliant. Riders come down then onto the start line. And then we will be lights out heading down in towards turn 1. Got to say, respect to all of the riders. We've not really seen any carnage, not wanting to put the commentator's curse on it, but everybody's respected each other through turn 1 and got through safely.
Yeah, so far, but you know, with the 5-lap race here, I think guys are going to be going to push the issue a little bit more, knowing that there's only a race that's only 5 laps and going to have to make their moves quick. 72. Benjamin Gloddy, number 70, Tommaso Marcon, number 11, Jody Barry. Aprilia 1, 2, 3. It's an Aprilia lockout. 2 from the Roban Engineering Racing Team. 1 from Veloce Racing. Our flag marshal runs to the left-hand side. We wait for the light. And for the second time of Asting, the Twins Cup race number 2 is go! Oh, and a much better start this time for Hayden Schultz. Third time looking, it is Benjamin Gloddy who once again converts that pole position to the lead. And I think once again, Roger, it was Caleb de Carrel, the defending champion, who slots into second place, and it is. Yeah, he's already worked himself up to third, and Jody Barry looks like he's in fourth. But Jackson Blackman, another good start, and mistake there by... Oh, and that's Dominic Doyle, and Dominic Doyle has gone down again. He went down earlier on and down again, and that could have been because maybe there was some kind of issue still with that machine, and unfortunately for Dominic, he has gone down. And where he was at, he had to crash there, or he was going to come back onto the rider's head on. So he did the smart thing there and lay it down. Yeah, he had no option but to get off it as they come down then in towards turn where are we now? Turn 5 as they come round and then head up towards turn 6 and then out onto the banking. And already it looks as though Benjamin Gloddy has got the hammer down here as they come into turn 6 and now up onto the banking, Roger, for the first time of 5. Yeah, last start too, same thing. He had his head down pretty early. You could see where he tried to break the gap up, but you're going to see on this banking in the draft how it's going to pull everybody back together, and we're going to be back to 8-rider pack as we go through the chicane. Yeah, we are indeed. Caleb de Carrel looking to get his first podium of the season and looking to lead for the first time, but here comes Marcon. It is 2 by 2 by 2 as we head down towards the chicane. Hayden Schultz with a huge slingshot, 5 abreast on the brakes. Who's the bravest? And it looks as though it was Marcon. This is where it all went wrong. Everybody stays on 2 wheels. Through we go. Marcon with a little wheelie. A few spots of rain there on the camera. I hope that is from earlier in the weekend and not from now. The sun still blazing down here in Florida. You can tell the sense of urgency these guys have, having to, they're going to come around the stripe, 4 laps to go. You can see they're already pushing, trying to force the issue pretty early. And another 2 or 3 riders have gone down. And where is that? That is chicane. Ah, it's the same place. It is the same place. 3 riders down. Down in towards turn 1. Hayden Schultz is looking to lead. There's 4 laps to go. Across the line, Jody Barry in 4th. It was Anthony Mazziotto. Caleb de Carrel once again getting left and right, getting punches left and right. He's dropped right back now. He's been sucked back into the pack, and he drops down into 7th place. There is the stricken 25, and yellow flags out there. Now, we've got to be careful because there's a yellow flag there. You cannot overtake under yellow flag. You cannot pass under a waving yellow. Can you pass under a static yellow? I'm not sure. Well, anyway, nobody did, so I guess there's no penalties coming either way. But that's going to be a difficult place to retrieve that bike. They're not going to be able to retrieve it. So, look at Anthony Mazziotto there in 4th, kind of making his way through the front. Like I said, this race being short, you can already see, Teague Hobbs and these guys like that really trying to make a break. Jody Barry looking for his first podium of the season. He was another rider yesterday that never really got the chance. He was denied the opportunity to fight for the win after making contact with Hayden Schultz. But no mistakes so far for Jody Barry, and none for the top Yamaha at the moment, which is Hayden Schultz. Got to say, the Yamaha isn't slow, is it? I knew a few people were saying that Aprilia had the legs, but we're not seeing that here. Very evenly matched. Especially on the top end, it looks like the Yamaha really works well toward the end of the tri-oval. Now then, this is where we've seen incidents aplenty in this race already. Hopefully we all get through safely this time. The leaders go through. No problem for the leading 10 riders. And look at the gap that the Aprilia has stretched as Jody Barry gets pushed and squeezed towards the wall. There's not much room there, and it looks as though it is Marcon, the Italian, who really does want to make amends as they go 4 abreast on the bank and they switch from left to right.
And some of these riders are very aggressive, Roger, with the way that they just peel down towards the apex. And again, Hayden Schultz is going to be squeezed on the left-hand side. Teague Hobbs very much in the mix. Benjamin Gluddy just behind them. And the lead, Aprilia, gets absolutely swamped there as they come across the line, heading down in towards turn 1. And Mazziato, who was down in about 10th or 11th on the opening lap, has just bided his time and now picked his way through into 5th place.
And you can just see how big the draft works. Tommaso had almost a 1 second lead, and by the start-finish line, they already swallowed him up. So it's going to be important to see where these guys place themselves on the last lap.
Through turn number 3, Anthony Mazziato with the fastest time and a jump start. A jump start for bike number 96. Gus Rodeo has a jump start. He's currently running in 11th place. And again, just maybe a little bit keen to get away, Roger. That can happen. That can happen sometimes. Yeah,
I'm just going to have to do a ride-through penalty and, just made a mistake. And, he's a young guy. He'll learn from that.
Yeah, he will indeed. Teague Hobbs back at the front. No stranger to winning Twins Cup races. He's now on a different machine. And, of course, always a little bit of a variance, a bit of a different riding style potentially needed when you switch manufacturers. But Teague Hobbs is taken to riding this Aprilia like a duck to water. Yeah,
through the infield every lap, it looks like he tries to kind of get away and builds a little bit of a gap. But all these guys, as soon as they get on the banking with the draft, they all bring him back.
Still a leading group of about 8 riders just behind this. Top 8 is Ethan Cook, who's worked his way up into the top 10. Another rider that is going to be with us full time. And Ethan had a couple of good races last year as we come into the chicane. And again, we always see a very different line from the Italians through there. And of course, yesterday on the final lap, he tried a different line and it didn't work. But he's very late going into the chicane and then kind of squares the corner off, unlike the rest of the field.
I think he does that because he tries to get a really good drive coming out of the chicane. So he really opens up and uses both curbs.
And I think that's again coming from the year on another rider goes down, and that is at the chicane as well. Another rider has gone down, and I think that was the 31 of Jeff Perkins. They go 3 by 3 of the Yamaha sandwich. Yamaha filling in the Aprilia sandwich as they come down in towards turn number 1 again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any one of 8 riders here, Roger, as we come down into turn 1. And Caleb Zuccarello just once again keeping a watching brief in that 8th position.
And if he's going to make a move, he's going to need to do it pretty soon. We're already at only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already into the latter part of this race. Fortunately for Jeff Perk, he picked up a couple of points yesterday, 0 points today. But I was going to say, with regards to Marcon, do you think that's just the European style? You've ridden in Europe as well. They ride a little bit differently there. They take corners a bit differently.
Yeah, I think it's just his riding style. I mean, even you see other guys to the chicane like Hayden Schultz, he keeps it a lot tighter. So it's just a line preference for each rider.
Marcon still leading, yet to win in the MotoAmerica Championship. There's no doubting his speed, though, is there?
No, he's been in the hunt
all.
Every race that he's did for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. 2nd place. Looks like it is Jody Barry. And Barry will certainly be. In fact, all of these riders are title contenders.
Any of these guys, I mean, even all the way to top 8, all the way down to Caleb DeCarroll, the champion, is going to be there, going to be a title contender all year.
So it's Aprilia from Aprilia from Aprilia from Aprilia. Yamaha, once again, top Yamaha is Hayden Schultz. Hayden Schultz is not afraid on the brakes, is he? As Jody Barry takes the lead and Marcon hits the curb. A little bit behind is Teague Hobbs. Mazziato also with a very, very good run. That's where he got the run yesterday. Just please don't ride the wall again.
And I think Jody Barry might be in a good spot because these guys are all going to draft by him before the start-finish line. I do not think you want to be leading coming out of the chicane if you want to lose this race. I think if you are leading, you're going to be a set and duck.
Yeah, and Barry went low then. That was quite smart as they come across the stripe and get the white flag. Then 1 lap to go. Le Dernier Tour, l'Ultima Vuelta. We got people watching from all over the world. And I tell you what, Jody Barry's bike is not slow.
Actually, I thought they would have drafted by him a lot sooner.
Yeah, he manages to hang on in 3rd position, but here comes Hayden Schultz looking to kickstart his championship with a bag full of points through turn 1, through this little complex which is classed as turn 2. Marcon absolutely seemingly wanting to lead this. And
now he's kind of made up his decision. If he's going to lead through the infield, then you need to get your head down and try to make a break and not and break the draft.
Something we haven't mentioned is a new livery on the bike of Caleb de Carrel, but that's all a little bit inconsequential now. They've got a special livery on that Veloce machine as we come down in towards the hairpin. And you see there, Marcon takes a look to the right-hand side. That's where he got it wrong yesterday. Takes a little look and he looks straight into the visor of his teammate. T. Hobbs takes a look over and looks straight into the face of the number 11. I wouldn't be looking behind,
no.
mate. I wouldn't be looking back at all as they come through turn 6. Now then, where do these riders want to be? We saw it in the 200. Brandon Pash was perfectly placed to be in 4th position. If that's the case, Hayden Schultz is potentially odds on for the win here.
Yeah, I think anybody 3rd or 4th is setting pretty good, but who knows, if these guys kind of start messing with each other all through the chicane, it might let Tommaso get away. But you know, with him, you can see how fast all these guys are coming. But I would not want to be leading out of the chicane. If I was leading right now, I would brake super early.
Hard on the brakes, he shows him a front wheel, but that's a smart thing from Jody Barry. He lets him back through. He lets him back through because, as you said, he doesn't want to be the leader because he will get swallowed on this last lap. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders all together. Defending champion Caleb de Carrel just sitting at the back of this group. He's not out of it.
No, not at all. And look at Hayden Schultz. Look at the head of steam he's got coming out of NASCAR 4.
Now they start bumping and boring, and it's all getting a little bit tight like it did yesterday. There's not much room as they fan out across the line here. 5 abreast, 6 abreast. Jody Barry hits the back of Tommaso Marcon, and it is Hayden Schultz that is going to come across the line to win this one. Hayden Schultz is going to take the 25 points. Yamaha win for the 2nd time in 2 races, and it is a Yamaha win yesterday, Yamaha today. Jody Barry gets his first podium of the season, and Tommaso Marcon, he makes amends for putting the Robum Aprilia on the floor with a podium today. That was a great race.
That was a great race. Hayden put himself in a perfect spot, and once he got that run, I mean, that Yamaha's really got some top speed.
Yeah, 152 miles an hour across the stripe for the Yamaha. So Hayden Schultz, Jody Barry, and Tommaso Marcon. Teague Hobbs will pick up 13 points to add to the 20 that he got yesterday. That'll put him on 33 points by my mental arithmetic. Jody Barry will pick up 11 points from yesterday. He'll get 31 points. Hayden Schultz picks up 25. I reckon there's 2 or 3 points here, Roger, covering the top 5 or 6 guys.
And with the guys, you know, that crashed out yesterday, had good races today, and the guys that had a pretty good race yesterday crashed out today. So I think it's going to be pretty even. But Teague Hobbs, 2 top 5 finishes for him. Also Anthony Mazziato, those guys had pretty good points weekend.
Yeah, they did indeed. Just behind the top 5, Jackson Blackman picks up another solid 10 points in 6th ahead of Benjamin Gloddy. Caleb de Carrel, the defending champion, sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:58.8. Ethan Cook in the top 10. Gus Rodeo had a jump start. I didn't see him serve a penalty,
I'm
so I'm
not sure if he served it.
Yeah, I'm not sure there. So I think there will be maybe an amendment to the result there. Michael Henao, Ray Hoffman, John Knowles picks up his first championship points in 13th ahead of Wesley Lakis. Gino Angela getting the final championship point. Fellow Brit Stephen Shakespeare on his Aprilia finishing in 16th. As we see the riders on this slowdown lap. And we get confirmation, a 10-minute race. That was a pretty frantic and fraught 10-minute race. But the top 5 covered by by 0.2 of a second. Just over half a second covering the top 8 at the end of the race. But it's Hayden Schultz with the biggest smile. Yamaha win the opening 2 races of the 2022 MotoAmerica Twins Cup Championship. But not by much, Roger. Aprilia very much in the hunt for title honours after their title success last year with Caleb. A fantastic weekend of racing here. As I said, the first time that MotoAmerica have been in control of the Daytona 200. There is the number 15 of Ethan Cook coming back in. And I've got to say, Roger, despite the weather, it has been a real success for MotoAmerica and for the Daytona International Speedway. Thousands of fans here trackside, thousands watching around the world. A really brilliant way to start the season. I think everybody involved can be really proud of themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just the crowd that's here, all the motorhomes and all the campers on the infield. And, you know, with all the weather that we had also, we still got all the races in. They were just a little bit late. It was an awesome job by all the crews and MotoAmerica as well, because the schedule's changed a lot, but we got it all done, and it's just awesome to see MotoAmerica back running the Daytona 200 again. And not only that, just all the good competition that was in the Daytona 200 this year.
Yeah, it's a great sight to see so many RVs, tents and camper vans just parked here. Look at this. Look at the fans that have been here. And these guys were here when I arrived. I flew in from the other side of the world on Monday, and there was already people here. I mean, there were already people here for this. And there is Hayden Schultz, and you can see in his face, he is happy with that one. Running his own program this year, and sometimes it is sometimes better to go it alone. And I believe that Jamie Howe is down there. And again, we are going to throw down to her. Jamie, I know you're down there. You can see the excitement and the emotion. I know you're going to have to let Hayden take his helmet off. But what is it like down there? Real emotion. What a great way to finish the weekend.
Even at the very last race, we still have a crowd down here to celebrate with Hayden Schultz. You guys talked about it. He scored 0 points yesterday. It was a DNF finish for you. But to come home, the top step of the podium today, what kind of redemption is this?
Oh my gosh, this is I can't believe it. After the week we've had and the amount of work Gene Bertram and Gary Jeffries and my team have put into this is it's incredible. And I was devastated after yesterday's incident when I felt like we had the speed to win, and to make it happen today is surreal. So I have to give a big shout out to all my sponsors, Yamaha, Vance and Hines, for all of them, Gene Bertram again for building an incredible bike and an absolute rocket. I'm so happy that all our hard work paid off, and I can't wait to get the rest of the season rolling.
Soak in the moment. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Hayden Schultz. He can't wait for the rest of the season. Neither can we, Roger. We go to the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas in a couple of weeks' time. Only Superbike on the calendar there, but it's great, isn't it, Rog, to see us back with MotoGP. We then go to Michelin Raceway and all of the other races as well before we finish the season at Barber.
Yeah, you can just look at the full schedule we have. There's a lot of races this year, so I'm looking forward to Road America. Also heading back to the Ridge in Washington again this year.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to being at half a dozen races this year. A big thank you to all of our fans for tuning in at MotoAmerica Live Plus. Make sure you stay with us through the season. MotoAmerica.com, the official website, on MotoAmerica on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. I've been Michael Hill. These are some of the highlights. Roger Hayden and I say a big thank you. We'll see you next time out for the 2022 MotoAmerica Championship. It's been a blast, and it's going to continue to be so.